Hey there guys, Aldershot here, and today we're going to do an impression video on Dark Souls 2, released from Software, for the regular price of $50 on Steam. Now I should mention that I never really played a lot of Dark Souls 1, I played a tiny portion of it, and I mostly played Demon Souls. I played a lot of Demon Souls on the PS3 back in the day, really enjoyed it. So, just so you guys know, you know, understand where I'm coming from and all that stuff. And something else I want to mention, I am going on vacation for 2 weeks, so this very well could be the last impression on this channel for about 2 weeks, and then we will resume our usual upload schedule, of course, but just thought I'd mention it. Anyways, let's get into the game and see what's it all about. Now, I'm probably not going to talk too much about the exact mechanics of Dark Souls 2. It is a pretty popular franchise, so I'm pretty sure most of you guys already kind of have a pretty good idea of what this game's all about. It's an RPG, it's an action RPG. That's really hard, and it's known to be really hard. Alright, but it's generally kind of thought to be tough but fair, to kind of put it in a summed up fashion. So let's talk about the visuals first. So as far as a PC port's concerned, Dark Souls 2 is much better than Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1's port was pretty poor. It was only at 720p, locked at 30 frames a second, all those kind of PC sins and stuff like that. Now this time around, From Software gave us a much more appropriate ports for the PC. The resolution on the textures have been risen from the console counterpart of Dark Souls 2, and they also gave us, 60 frames a second. I just got crushed by this turtle thing. They have given us, 60 frames per second, higher resolution textures, and better frame rates, and yeah, generally it's just a good port. It's a much better port than Dark Souls 1, especially compared to Dark Souls 1. But even with that said, it's not like the best looking game I've ever seen as far as PC gaming is concerned. It's not ugly by any means, but as far as AAA PC gaming is concerned, I've definitely seen better. But what it kind of lacks in technical graphic fidelity, it more than makes up in atmosphere and design. As you can see, the creature design, the armor design, environment design, all very unique. Has a very strange kind of almost alien-like gothic look to it, which is very interesting. There's a certain degree of sadness and darkness that is kind of instilled in almost every element of this game. Even the armor I'm wearing right now is very strange, and there is a slight sense of like insanity almost to a lot of the design in this game, which I really like. It definitely gives it a very unique flavor to the world, that's for sure. It's something that the Souls series has always had, even back in the Demon Souls days, so that pedigree has continued in Dark Souls 2 very much. Now as far as gameplay is concerned, oh god, I'm getting out of this place. I remember this place. It's a huge pain in the ass. I'm just running through different areas so you guys have something to look at rather than just looking at a title screen. But anyways, there is a few mechanical changes from the previous Souls series. One of the biggest changes I find as far as multiplayer is concerned is that they added a new way of deciding on how you match up in co-op and PvP. Now previously in the Soul series it was all based on your soul level. In Demon Souls is within 20 levels of the other player. I'm not sure what it is in Dark Souls. I might even be wrong about that, don't quote me on that, but it's around that area anyways. Now in Dark Souls 2, it's actually based on something called your soul memory. I'll show you that now. You watch the cursor, I'm kind of highlighting this number here in the upper right hand corner in the menu status screen here. And the difference between soul memory and soul level is that soul memory is the accumulated amounts of souls that you collected throughout your travels, and that includes the souls that you've lost because you weren't able to retrieve it on death, or that you used and spent on items and all that stuff, which is kind of interesting. And some will argue it has some imbalances, and I kind of agree. It does have a little bit of imbalances because of this sort of new matchmaking formula, I guess you can say. It introduces basically a soul memory to soul level ratio. So there is a ratio that is going to be something that people should be concerned about as far as matchmaking is concerned. Now, I don't think a lot of people kind of know about or have talked too much about. So basically, because the way they've reworked the multiplayer matchmaking formula, before, because it was solely based on your soul level, you can be pretty confident that you're going to be matched with players around your level, both in co-op and in PvP. But now, because it's based on your soul memory, and because it even counts the souls that you lose from not being able to retrieve it or being spent on items, that will have a fairly big effect on player balance as far as matching is concerned. For example, if you die a lot or spent a lot of souls on items, then those souls get, recorded in your soul memory, but you don't, or you never did get to use those souls to upgrade, your stats, to level up. So that will match you, that could potentially match you with people who have been using their souls optimally and been spending a large portion of their souls on level ups rather than items, and those who are able to not lose a lot of it from, not being able to retrieve it on death and all that stuff, they will potentially be a much higher level than you. For example, again, if you end up collecting, it's very possible to collect, like, let's say 500,000 souls, and you died a lot, and you weren't able to retrieve those souls. You could be a much lower level than somebody else with 500,000 souls who was able to retrieve all their souls that, they might have potentially lost, and didn't spend a lot of the souls on items. So that can be a bit of an issue. It's definitely wreaking havoc on the formal PvP scene in the Soul series, whereas before, people, in Demon Souls anyways, were able to agree on level capping at level 120, and that basically allowed formal PvPers to be able to match with other formal PvPers in full confidence that they are at the very least close to their level range, making it so it's a fair fight, essentially. But now, because of the way that the game kind of decides on how they match players with other games and stuff like that, that's not going to work anymore. And it's really, really hard to control your soul memory, because everything you do basically gives you souls. So in order to really control your soul memory, you're going to have to just not play the game. And that obviously defeats the purpose. If you want to unlock your soul memory, you basically have to just not collect souls, basically rendering the game unplayable. So basically, locking any kind of standardized matchmaking stat is nearly impossible in Demon Souls 2. I take it or leave it. I'm not really sure why they decided to do something like that. So basically, what I've seen from the community to address this is people just kind of agreeing to stay at a certain level. I think anywhere between 150 to 200 right now is the standard, from what I hear anyways. But it's not all gloom and doom. After 15 million mark, everyone above that mark of 15 million soul memory gets matched with anyone else above 15 million. So if you're at 15 million exactly, you'll still get matched up with people with 100 million souls. That's very, very possible, which again kind of shows an imbalance, because those people very well could have a very, very, very ridiculously high level character in which you'll have to fight and co-op with. Alright, and I guess that's why the formal PvP community has agreed on level 150 to 200, even though their soul memory will allow them to collect more levels if they choose to, but for the sake of balance, they've seem to have chosen a standardized level. But another mechanical change that they've kind of pulled off under our nose is the way that, what was I going to say? It's not even just the PvP level, but also, oh my, I'm getting a lot of mobs here. Just 1 second, folks. Try not to die here. I am dual wielding, so I don't have block, which can be scary sometimes. But anyways, as I was saying, something else that they've kind of done that really changed the game around a little bit is, and I think this is the first time for the Soul series, is that they've included a way where mobs just don't spawn anymore. If you kill a mob 15 times, let's say you die 15 times, or you've been through an area 15 times and you killed those mob 15 times, then they won't respawn anymore. Not until New Game Plus, or until you use an item that basically resets the area, which is the bonfire aesthetic or something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of interesting. That's pretty new, and I actually kind of like this new mechanic. It seems a little bit off-putting at first. It's a little bit odd. I was like questioning it. It's like, how am I going to farm for souls and materials if mobs don't spawn anymore? That sounds difficult. And it is kind of difficult. It does add another layer of challenge to the game, which this game's quite known for. I kind of like it because it does a few things. It promotes co-op play, because a very effective way to farm for souls now, if you want to keep your game in a playable state where mobs are still spawning, then you will join co-op games and farm souls in their game and help other players out through that means as well. So I kind of like that. Alright, but it also helps people who kind of have trouble with playing the Soul series, because, you know, obviously after they die so much, those mobs don't spawn anymore. So that will help them get through tougher areas. Obviously, if they die 15 times in an area, they need a way to progress through without getting overly frustrated. And because of the whole soul ratio thing that I was talking about earlier, it does still balance the game a bit, because, you know, their character, as far as soul memory to soul level in that ratio, is going to suffer because of that. So it's not completely imbalanced. It doesn't take it easy on the players because of that by any means. Alright, it just kind of helps, you know, the quality of life of Dark Souls 2, essentially. Helps player kind of get through the game and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. I actually like it. You actually dig into that mechanic. It does help promote co-op, and it does help beginner players quite a bit, I have to say. So that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Just waiting for the elevator, I think. Yeah, we are. So there are the two biggest mechanical changes from the Soul series that I've seen from Dark Souls 2 so far. I am I'm at the last area of the game. I'm about to finish the game, actually. So just so you know, I haven't actually quite finished it yet. I have pumped in about 60 hours into this character and about 20 hours in my first character. So just to give you an idea of my experience level with Dark Souls 2. Now, I've heard some people complain that there's some cheap deaths in Dark Souls 2. I kind of disagree with that, because, you know, sometimes, you know, some things will kind of attack you from the corner that you didn't see coming a little bit, but they will always attack from that corner, and after the first time you learn from that, and, you know, hopefully you won't, hopefully you can learn from your mistakes, essentially. So I don't think it's too bad, and to be honest, it's not like, you know, Demon's Souls was 100% fear either, the first inception of the Soul series. There was cheap deaths in that as well. You know, there was boulders falling on you out of nowhere, and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it's not that much of a departure to have one or two pop-up deaths every now and then, because you will know when they're coming after that. So, you know, so I don't think it's too bad. I do enjoy. I like the overall balance between satisfaction in combat, as well as, you know, being difficult and all that stuff. I never found the game frustrating, I just found the game challenging, which is nice. I mean, there's a couple parts where it was annoying, but I got through it. I got through it. Co-op definitely helps, and The tradition of the Souls way of doing co-op has kind of lived on through the Dark Souls 2, obviously. It's done through... It's a really strange blend of single player and multiplayer, but you guys already know this. This is very, very much usual stuff in the Soul series. Nothing unusual for the game at all. Nothing unusual for the series. My sword is about to break, so we're gonna have to do a quick switcheroo, just so we don't end up using a broken sword. But yeah, anyways, pretty interesting game. I do like it. I've been playing a whole lot of it. The two mechanical changes are some of the biggest I've seen, as I mentioned before. The way they've handled matchmaking with soul memory will definitely affect how people will play the game. Dying and not being able to retrieve your souls will have an even larger consequence in Dark Souls 2 than ever. So that's kind of interesting. And I do like the way that mobs kind of spawn and despawn now in this game. It definitely adds a new element of mechanics to kind of consider and think about as well. It will definitely affect your farming. It'll definitely affect your value that you hold on co-op and online play as well. So there you go, guys. Dark Souls 2, not a bad game. I really, really like it. It's probably one of my favorite of this year. I really have to say. Well, that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found this informative. If you did, you know, show me some love. Like, share, fave, and comment. But most importantly, help me grow. Feed me my vegetables. And subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. All the shout-outs.